Golden Rose. I'm about to spill some tea. Some plus size tea.
Hello, T-Bags. Hello, it's me, dear Rose. Welcome. I hope you all are having a wild and out Wednesday. So glad it's hump day, the middle of the week, guys. Sorry I couldn't do my podcast on Saturday. I took a break. Um, as we all know, we got to take care of our mental health and take care of ourselves. You feel yourself being overworked or spreading yourself thin. It is nothing wrong with taking a break. So that's what I did. Good morning. And for the replayers, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it will be when will be watching the show. I have a very, very interesting content for you today. So I'm going to get started with that. If this is your first time tuning in to Plus Size Tea with Dear Rose, please like, subscribe, share, ring that bell so you can always know when I'm on. I try to at least do 3 times a week because I do a podcast on Spotify as well, 3 times a week. So I'm only off like 1 day a week. Plus I work a full-time job. So I try to get this all done. So I was kind of, that's why I needed a break. I was kind of spreading myself thin. But I'm going to make sure that I try to keep up with my episodes this week. So much has been going on in the news and on YouTube since I've been my little hiatus. Oh my God. But anyway, let's get to the topic at hand. First, I would like to make a disclaimer. Any of the persons that I speak of in this particular episode are innocent until proven guilty. And these are all alleged crimes and alleged charges that has been brought against any of the persons that I mentioned, because you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, from your peers or from whatever agency has chosen to arrest you for the alleged crimes. Okay. And also, I'm speaking of Nigerian crime that are scams that have been committed by Nigerians. And I would also like to say that all Nigerians are not scammers. All Nigerians are not criminals. There are some Nigerians that are hard workers. They are productive citizens, whether here in America or over in their country. They raise their children. They send their children off to college. They have, they live their daily lives as productive citizens, as well as any of us do here in America or over in their country. So I do want to say this is not an attack against Nigerians. I am not lumping you all in one, basket and saying that all Nigerians are scammers or criminals. That is not true. And I just wanted to do those disclaimers prior to getting started with the commentary. But I also would like to say that it is an epidemic of Nigerian scams and alleged schemes that they use to make a profit off of Americans. And that is something that is being proven. There's been several arrests, and I will be speaking of some of those things today. I myself have gotten several things from Nigerians, speaking of different scams where they want you to cash money orders, deposit in your bank, and then you take so much and then they'll send them the rest, and all different types of schemes that they use, romance schemes and things like that. So it's not that it's not an epidemic. It is becoming so widespread because of social media now. They hit you up in your inbox. Once they get a hold of your email or a phone number or something like that, they contact you either through mail or on these social media platforms. So it has become an epidemic. It has become bothersome, and it bothers you where you can't even be on social media sometime without them contacting you for um, these scams that they do. So let's get into it. I'm going to speak about Raymond Abba last. I'm going to do his story last. So I'm going to just give you a backdrop on some of the Nigerian crime, alleged crimes that um, has been plaguing a lot of the um, all over the world, not just American citizens, but all over the world. Okay, so the first article I have is from CNN Business. It was written by Stephanie Bussari, and it says Nigerian man arrested in global $60 million scam. A Nigerian man alleged to be the mastermind behind an international crime ring that swindled individuals and companies out of $60 million has been arrested. According to a statement by Interpol, the man, only known as Mike, ran an international criminal network that hacked the email accounts of small and medium sized businesses across the globe. Once the scammers had control of the accounts, they sent fake payment requests to the companies, partners, and then diverted the funds to accounts they controlled. One victim was conned into paying $15.4 million, Interpol reported. In another scam, the ring would hack an executive's email account, then send a wire fund transfer request to the company employee authorized to handle them. The funds were then paid into the criminal's bank account. A 38-year-old person who was also arrested by the Nigerian authorities. Both individuals are facing charges including hacking, conspiracy, and obtaining money under false pretenses. The arrest was a joint operation between Interpol and the Nigerian Economic and Financial Crime Commission, which is also EFCC. The businesses affected were in countries including Australia, Canada, India, Malaysia, Romania, South Africa, Thailand, and the US, the statement said. The alleged mastermind headed a network of at least 40 individuals across Nigeria, Malaysia, and South Africa who provided the malware and helped carry out the scams. The gang also had money laundering contacts in China, Europe, and the US, who provided bank accounts to receive the illicit cash. Following his June arrest in southern Nigeria's Port Harcourt, a forensic examination of devices seized by the EFCC showed Mike had been involved in a range of criminal activities, including romance scams. Okay, so as you see, as I stated before, it's like a money laundering, and they get your emails. Even they do regular citizens. They don't just do small businesses and medium-sized businesses. You also have the ring, and you all probably have been privy to it, where you look in your inbox and they're in your inbox, or they're asking you, are you getting these FedEx envelopes in the mail with these large sized checks where they want you to deposit them, money orders or either checks, deposit them in your account, and then next thing you know, your account is overdrawn and things like that. I know so many people have been fallen victim to that. But on another note of this is, I often wondered, I said, why do foreign countries choose us to victimize in that way? Why do they constantly do this? And it's growing more and more and more, especially with technology. And I thought about one thing. I thought about the show American Greed, where we have our own rich tycoons, philanthropists over here in America that scam and scheme from the wealthy here in the United States. Ponzi schemes, hedge fund schemes, embezzlements, insurance scams, pyramid scams, even on Wall Street, they're doing the trading, uh, uh, fake trading wars and things like that. It's just horrible. So in my mind, I'm thinking, is it any different between what the Nigerians do, some of the Nigerians do, allegedly, to what the American uh, criminals do here that prey on the rich that have acquired their wealth by hard work or by way of air, where they maybe but left the wealth, or those that have worked hard to build this money and it's their retirement off the backs of people that are unsuspecting, that are trusting them, that are trying to like flip their money or whatever in these investments. Is it any different than what the Nigerians do, than what the American do here? Is that what they're looking at? They're learning it from somewhere. Are they taking what they do here that we see on American Greed and just flipping it and putting their own spin on it? And that's how they come up with this. Because I'm trying to figure out how are they coming up with these schemes. But some of these same schemes that the Nigerians are doing, you see on American Greed as well. I just wanted to throw that thought out there, like, you know. Okay, so the second article before I get to Hushpuppi is another large investigation that were going on for these different Nigerian scam rings. Hundreds arrested in Nigeria, U.S. on online fraud charges. Okay, Washington. This report comes from the U.S. News. Nearly 300 people, the bulk of the people in Nigeria and the U.S., have been arrested in an internationally coordinated law enforcement operation aimed at disrupting a multi-billion-dollar internet scam, the U.S. Justice Department announced Tuesday. The 4-month global operation netted a total of 281 arrests worldwide, including 167 in Nigeria and 74 in the United States. Arrests were also made in Turkey, Ghana, France, Italy, Japan, Kenya, Malaysia, and Britain. The operation, dubbed Rewired, led to the seize of nearly $3.7 million, the Justice Department said. Among those arrested in Nigeria were 77 Nigerian suspects recently indicted in the United States on conspiracy charges of swindling businesses and individuals through a variety of internet scams. Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission said the Nigerians allegedly used so-called businesses' email compromising schemes, romance fraud, and schemes targeting the elderly to steal millions of dollars from their victims in the United States and elsewhere before transferring the funds to Nigeria through an extensive money laundering network. According to a 252 count federal grand jury indictment unsealed last month. Others arrested during the recent operation faced similar charges. So they're not just preying on these multi-million dollar companies or these mid-sized businesses or small businesses. They're preying on individuals such as ourselves, just regular citizens, and the elderly any way they can. In the southern U.S. state of Georgia, where there is a monopoly of wealthy Nigerians, we all hear about it on some of the reality shows, that there is a like a multi number of wealthy Nigerian tycoons living in Atlanta, living in Georgia, not just Atlanta, but around the state of Georgia. Listen to this. In the southern U.S. state of Georgia, 2 Nigerian nationals were arrested in connection with fraudulently directing a transfer of $3.5 million from a healthcare provider to accounts across the United States. In Miami, 2 others were charged with laundering more than $950,000 of proceeds of BEC scams and recruiting about 18 others to serve as money mules. Money mules. So I just imagine some of the romance scams are the females muling the money, because this is, if it's not wired is cash. Somebody has to transport the cash. So they have these fake romances and they use these women as their mules. So women, we have to be careful when you meet these foreign men. They may be rich, they may be very wealthy. They can change your whole life and show you a life that you've never had before, and you see the dollar signs and you see the wealth and the Rolls Royces and the Aston Martins, and you take these trips and all of this kind of stuff. But how are they really making their money? Are they legitimate companies? Are they money laundering? You do not know. Okay. So that's what you were using the females for money mules. Widely used Nigerian fund, excuse me, widely used by Nigerian fraudsters. Business email compromise schemes involve targeting employees with access to company finances and tricking them into making unauthorized wire transfers into accounts controlled by swindlers. $26 billion online scam. According to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, business email compromises is a $26 billion online scam. Last year, BEC and its variants, email account compromise, resulted in losses of nearly $1.3 billion, nearly twice as much as in 2017. Operation Rewired was part of the Justice Department's intensified efforts in recent years to crack down on internet financial fraud, among other measures. The department has set up an international BEC counteraction group to coordinate the cases. Uh, Through the arrest, we're sending a clear message to criminals who orchestrate these BEC schemes. We'll keep coming after you no matter where you are, FBI Director Christopher Reyes said. And to the public, we'll keep doing whatever we can to protect you. U.S. and Nigerian officials credited the mass arrest to close cooperation and coordination between their law enforcement agencies. Our efforts in coordinating with the EFCC and the FBI joint operations in Nigeria recorded tremendous successes against the infamous Yahoo boys. That's what they're called, said the EFCC's Director of Information, Mohammed Abba, according to the AFP. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen said that the Justice Department has increased efforts to combat cyber-enabled financial crimes. The coordinated efforts with our domestic and international law enforcement partners around the world has made these most recent actions as more successful. U.S. officials didn't say whether they have asked Nigerian authorities to extradite the suspects wanted in multiple U.S. jurisdictions from California to Florida. Hassan Mohammed Hassan, Nigeria's deputy ambassador to the U.S., told VOA last month that Nigeria will consider any extradition request based on a verifiable case. So they want to make sure that you're just not wanting to extradite, people over here to criminally charge them for something that's alleged or you can't prove. But they said if it's verifiable, they will extradite. If not, it's going to be a problem. So last year, a law enforcement operation aimed at BEC scams resulted in the arrest of 74 people and the seizure of $2.4 million, according to the Justice Department. Okay. So the trial of 5 of the people accused of conning a Brazilian bank out of more than $240 million has opened in Nigeria's capital. And the defendants are charged with duping an official at a Brazilian bank. So they're doing this all over, guys, not just here in the U.S., anywhere they can. Anywhere they can, they are doing these internet scams. And what they do is they provide you with the fake money. They provide you with the fake money order or the fake check. They ask you to deposit it into your account. That's laundering right there. You get out your $250, your $350, and they get the rest. So that's clear, clean money from your bank from a fake or a made up check or money order. That is one of the schemes that they use. And for these larger companies, they said they get in contact or have these romances with these women that can launder the money through their businesses' bank accounts through these romance schemes. So you have to be careful. Don't do anything for your man that's you can go to jail for. So we don't even know how many romance scheme women that have been indicted along with these Nigerians allegedly for money laundering, embezzlement, wire fraud. I guarantee you, if I was to do an investigation on the women that were roped in, unexpectedly, unknowingly, it probably would blow my mind, the numbers. Okay, so let's get to Raymond Abbas, better known as Hushpuppies. He's this big time Nigerian that was bragging on Instagram, allegedly, and they said that's how he was arrested. But of course, it wasn't just his Instagram post. They were watching him. Okay, so this is brought to you by CNN. A Nigerian man nicknamed Ray Hushpuppi, who flaunted his Rolls Royces, fancy watches, and designer clothing on Instagram, faces money laundering conspiracy charges in the United States, according to the Department of Justice. Raymond Olarona Abbas appeared in a federal court in Chicago on Friday. He is accused of conspiring to launder hundreds of millions of dollars through cyber crime schemes. According to a federal affidavit, one of the alleged victims was the client of a New York based law firm that lost nearly $1 million in 2019. Abbas was arrested last month by law enforcement officials in the United Arab Emirates and transferred to the U.S. this week by the FBI. So that's why it's back in the news, because he's here in the United States to face his charges here. Prosecutors allege Abbas is one of the leaders of a global network that uses computer intrusions, business email compromises, which is called BECs, schemes, and money laundering capers to steal hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay? A BEC scheme often involves a hacker who redirects communication of a business email accounts to others in an attempt to lure them into making wire transfers. Let me see, can I put his picture on here? I'm learning how to do this stuff, guys. Let me see, can I put his background? Let's see. Show you a little bit of how he's doing this thing. The BEC scheme often involves a hacker who redirects communications of a business email account to others in an attempt to lure them into making a wire transfer. Okay. This case targets a key player in a large transitional conspiracy who was living an opulent lifestyle in another country while allegedly providing safe havens for stolen money around the world. As this case demonstrates, my office will continue to hold such criminals accountable no matter where they live, U.S. Attorney Nick Hanna said in a statement. It is unclear whether Abbas has an attorney or not. Okay, the Department of Justice says that Hushpuppi Instagram account, which boasts 2.4 million followers, shows Abbas inside or in front of jets, shopping luxury brands, posing in front of Rolls Royces, Ferraris, and other expensive cars, like in my thumbnail. In the bio, Hushpuppi says he is a real estate developer. According to the Dubai Police Facebook page, Abbas and 11 other people were arrested during raids in which authorities seized nearly $41 million, 13 luxury cars worth $6.8 million, and phone and computer evidence containing more than 100,000 fraud files and the addresses of nearly 2 million possible victims. Conspirators went after England's soccer team, Fed says, and a criminal complaint filed last month alleges that Abbas and an unnamed person conspired to launder funds from a $14.7 million heist of a foreign financial institute in 2019. Abbas also is accused of conspiring to be part of an attempt to steal $124 million from an English Premier League soccer club. The complaint does not say which team was targeted or if the attempt was successful. So they've been watching him. They've been watching him. Listen, most true hustlers, criminals that are in a different bracket than your street hustler, than your mid-sized hustler, once they get to a certain level, they lay low. Frank, what is his name that Denzel plays? Frank White. He got upset with his family members when they went out and bought fancy cars and things like that because you bring attention to yourself. You already doing committing criminal acts, crimes of money laundering allegedly, and cyber wire fraud. So you're gonna be stunting on Instagram with your Louis Vuittons and reading your Ford magazines and taking pictures in front of jets and Rolls Royces and all of that. Um, Authorities said he was part of a BEC scheme that defrauded a client of New York-based law firm out of $922,857 in October of 2019. The FBI says in the criminal complaint that Abbas and others tricked a paralegal at the law firm into wiring the money meant for a real estate refinance into an account that Abbas and his co-conspirators were using. Abbas, he's only 37 years old, is being held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago. The Federal Bureau of Prisons website says he will be transferred to Los Angeles in the coming weeks, according to the Justice Department. So they're taking him from every place where he committed the crimes. Chicago, he has to go to California now, and God only knows where else he resided and did some of these crimes. If convicted of money laundering, he would face a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. And remember, I stated, and I also put in my description, he is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This is a widespread epidemic of the cyber crimes and the email crimes that these Nigerians commit. And I'm just floored at the amount of money that they make. I'm talking about easily made. Because, see, they're not twisting your arm to do it. They come to you with a plan. Look, we need this money laundered, or I write you a check for $100,000. You send it through your bank. You know, these bank accounts and things like that, they are insured by the FDIC. So when you lose money and stuff like that, they're insured. So when these crimes like this are committed, it's really not too hard of a kickback on some companies, but on some smaller companies and some individuals, it is. It kills them, it destroys them, it takes their retirement, it ends their businesses and everything. Or they may get with you and say, listen, if you let me launder this money through your account, because, most businesses' bank accounts are legit. And then that's how they launder their money. And of course, you're making money too. You're getting some kickback. So a lot of these scams are done legitimately from business owner to the Nigerian because they see dollar signs. And then not only that, they do the romance scams. The romance scams, if they're not trying to get green cards anymore, now they're getting these women that have these positions where they can launder the money, real estate agents and bank managers, and women that are CEOs or CFOs, or women that manage or bookkeeping and accounting in these firms or these large businesses. They're romancing these women to get them to launder this money for them. They call them money mules, flying them different places all over with wires and wires of cash or checks. And again, I say, we have our own ring of crimes that we deal with, that I watch on American Greed all the time, with the Ponzi schemes and hedge funds and um, uh, pyramid schemes and things like that. We have our own that we deal with here. And then on top of that, we have another country that is abusing us, and they see us as prey, and they see us so gullible. But then again, you have the ones that partner with them to make the money as well. So I often wonder, where are these rich Nigerians? Where are these? How are they becoming rich? Where are they getting all this money from? And they marry these suspecting women that are, in love and never lived these lifestyles before. And I'm gonna throw it on in as the end before I close. I did a little research on, and let me make this disclaimer before I mention his name. There is no way I am connecting him with a Raymond Hushpuppi Abbas or any of the other crimes. The only reason why I am speaking of him is because he is Nigerian. He is they claim he's worth 40 million plus dollars. So I want to just give a background on what I've learned about him and leave and give a message to Portia. Okay. So I found a little article about him to see who he was, and um, and let me give you just a little bit about what I found. Um, so Simon, Portia's soon-to-be fiance or husband, because he's not divorced yet, so it's soon to be alleged. Simon is the CEO of Semico Petroleum LLC. And his LinkedIn page explains Simico Petroleum is a holding company for several other businesses, such as petroleum supplier company, a petroleum transport company, a multimedia company, a hospitality company, and an investment firm. Simon also owns multiple restaurants, including Simon's, Das Barbecue, Time, Buckhead, and the Bottle Bar. Sadly, Simon's was forced to close his doors as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So he had to close one of his restaurants. He stated in a CNN interview last year, it was not enough to sustain a business model like what we initially started to do. He told CNN last February of his attempts to offer takeout meals during the height of the pandemic, and we were going to suffer in the long run. So a lot of the restaurants closed during the pandemic if they weren't, offering the free meals and helping out the first responders and the frontline workers. And again, I am not stating that Simon has any affiliation with Ray Hushpuppi's Abbas or any other Nigerian men that were arrested. I'm just making an opinion on he is a wealthy Nigerian. And how does he make all these millions and millions of dollars? I just read some of the um, companies that he runs. They say he's a tycoon, a petroleum tycoon, and he makes a lot of money. But my message is to Portia. Do you really know what kind of money he makes and how he makes his money and what he's doing with his money? Don't be naive, Portia. I would hire a private investigator to investigate him. Does he have an office? Does he go to work every day? Is he sitting behind a desk? Have you ever been to his office? Every time I see him, he's on a boat or in a restaurant or somewhere, in front of a car or flying somewhere or something like that, or you all are out having a good time, which is nothing wrong with that. And I'm not alleging that he's doing anything criminal. I'm just saying for your benefit, because they are cracking down on these Nigerian scammers. These that makes millions of millions. These are not poor men. These are men that makes millions of dollars. They live wealthy. They are up there with the 1% China Americans. And I don't want to see these dollar signs and lose sight on the bigger picture. Please check your suitcase. Make sure he's not, you're not money muling. They said they do romance schemes. They take regular, unassuming women and they have them to launder money through their accounts, launder money through their employers. God only knows what type of things that they do. I'm not accusing him of any of these things. I just want you to be aware. I just want you to like, let me be smart because nobody really reports a lot about them. Where are these all these wealthy Nigerians coming from? What type of money are they making? What type of businesses do they really have? Do you really know what kind of money they make? Do you really know how they make their money? Where it comes from? So I want you to be smart. You too, Shamia. While you doing splits stuff and flying and three weddings and all that, and you don't hook Portia up with him, allegedly. Be careful, ladies. Shamia, I hope you saving some money. God forbid. Portia, get in your prenup because if not only will he probably have you sign a prenup if you marry him, if you do go ahead with the nuptials, and if it's true, because this is all alleged, what we hear in the news. You know, we heard a few things from your mouth, but who knows if it's for a storyline or if it's even true? Because I also read that he's in entertainment. He's had 2 or 3 movies that he's been a part of, documentaries and things like that. So he's entertainment as well. So we don't know if this is a plot, plot for you for your storyline. We don't know what's real. We don't know. But in your prenup to him would be what you come in with is what you leave with. You know what y'all make together. You split, long as it's not illegal. And I will have a clause in there that if you are doing anything illegal, money, anything like that, that you are not a part of it and you're not privy to it. Make sure you put that in your part of the prenup. Cover your ass, girl. And because you got a daughter and your family that you take care of. I know you got your own coins. And I know that, you live a certain lifestyle anyway, but I know this is like above and beyond probably what you could ever dream of. Dennis is a millionaire too, but he is like, he has more excessive millions than Dennis does. And I know Dennis is in business with him as well. So they say allegedly. And make sure you look out for Dennis because that's your baby daddy. He might allegedly make sure Dennis isn't any type of business with him that's illegal. Like give him heads up, like, because a lot of these companies, these small businesses and some of these large companies, they were in bed with the Nigerians. They were allowing them to launder this money because they got kickback and they made money. So you want to see what type of relationship does he have with Dennis? Like, is he back in Dennis's hot dog business, or this is all alleged, guys? I don't know. I'm not accusing Simon of being a criminal. I'm not accusing Simon of being part of, any of these things that I've talked about earlier. I just want Portia to watch out for her. It's not that we don't want you to be happy. It's not that we hating on you or nothing. You have a wonderful career on Bravo. Everything is short-lived. Nothing lasts forever. Okay, we know that. But I believe that you have built a brand where you can go anywhere, even if you don't make it back on a housewife, where you can do other things. You can sing, you can act, you can start a talk show, you can be on other networks. There are other networks. People move on and do other things. Don't get blinded by the girl. Don't you do it. Wake up. I do. And another thing is I hope that he is not using you as a pawn in some kind of scheme of getting Fallon back and all of this. What do they call it? These romances where, girl, I just want you to be careful. That's all. That's my plea to you. I will have him thoroughly investigated, honey. If I don't see him in an office sitting somewhere sometime, girl, and it's never, don't be embarrassed to pull out, Portia. Don't you ever be embarrassed to pull out, girl. If you can hold your head up through all of this, if you find out something ain't clean, something ain't right, you can hold your head up through the backlash you're gonna get for pulling out and letting it go. Pregnant, allegedly or not. That's all I'm saying. And again, Simon, I'm not accusing you of any crimes or illegal activity in your businesses at all. But as you know, there is a wide epidemic spread of Nigerian crimes. And there is a now been a task team assigned to break it up because lots of American businesses are losing millions and billions of dollars in these online scams and these, wire frauds and these money laundering. So they organized these task force in cooperation with the Nigerian authorities to work together to put us into some of this crime. That's all I'm saying. And Portia, to you, you heard what I said. In your prenup, girl, make sure you have your attorney to put a clause in there about any illegal activities. Hold on to your own coins. Don't put no money of his in your bank account or nothing. Because even though the money may seem clean, it could not be. You don't know where that money comes from. You don't know. I'm just saying to look out for you. We love you. I know we ragging you out and we talk about you every day. And I know you're probably tired by now. And everybody all in your business, or some like you and some don't. But my only advice to you is to look out for yourself. If you in love and you happy, you in love and you ain't happy, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But look out for yourself though. That's all I'm saying, girlfriend. Okay. Now, for those of you that are gonna watch the replay, if that will be your first time coming in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, so you can always know when Plus Size Tea with Dear Rose is on. And if anybody wants to donate or help this platform out, my channel out, you can. If not, it's okay, because I just love bringing you the news. And I have not reported on Portia's, love life or what's going on with her. I've only, and the few things that I have said, it's only been advice. I don't know you, but I've just heard so many horror stories, and I know so many people on smaller levels, not as, they're not on television like you, but I know so many women that have been affected by, these Nigerian romance scams. And it doesn't always just include a green card, because Simon's already has his green card. Romance scams include other things. They do other things for these men. I know someone firsthand. Okay. So please, you too, Shamia. I know you live in a life of luxury. You have a beautiful daughter. You live in a beautiful life. Same thing. I'm not saying your husband is doing anything illegal or nothing like that. Y'all watch y'all backs, watch y'all bank accounts, watch your suitcases, pay attention. That's all. Just wake up and pay attention. That's all I want y'all to do. I love you both. I wish you nothing but success, love, and happiness. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in to Plus Size Tea with Dear Rose. That's all I have for today. Again, like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you know when I'm on. Again, my disclaimer is any persons that I spoke of in this episode is innocent until proven guilty. And it's all alleged information and for entertainment purposes only. All right. I love you all. Have a good afternoon, good morning, and good night to some. Smooches.